When you think about all the animals on Earth, there's one relationship that just stands out, one that's almost inseparable from our own story. And that's the one we have with the dog. It's this ancient bond so familiar that we often forget just how extraordinary it really is. So today, we're going to dig in and really investigate that relationship.
Man's best friend. Yeah, we've all heard this phrase a million times. It's a nice, simple summary, sure, but it really only scratches the surface of a super complex connection. That simple phrase is just the cover of a much deeper, way more fascinating story. A story that stretches all the way back to the dawn of human history.
And here's the number that just blows my mind. 15,000 years. For at least 15,000 years, our two species have been living side by side. This is not a recent development, folks. This is a partnership that was literally forged in the Ice Age.
Which of course brings us to the central mystery of it all. How did the wolf, a creature we once competed with for survival, evolve into the companion that shares our homes, our families, and our lives? It's a story of coevolution unlike anything else on the planet.
Okay, so to really get the dog, we have to go way back. I'm talking about a time before civilization as we know it even existed. Before farms, before cities, before pretty much everything, there was us and there was the dog.
Just look at the sheer scale of this timeline. It's incredible. Dogs were domesticated thousands and thousands of years before any other farm animal. Think about that for a second. We humans hadn't even figured out agriculture yet. We weren't growing crops, but we had already formed this unique alliance. By a huge, huge margin, the dog is our first and oldest animal partner.
So how did it all happen? The old story we used to tell was that humans just, grabbed some wolf cubs and tamed them. But science is now revealing a much more interesting and, honestly, a more equal beginning.
And the reason why is just fascinating. Early humans and wolves, well, we were surprisingly similar. We were both social predators, we hunted the same large animals, and we did it in coordinated groups. We weren't just competitors. In a lot of ways, we were counterparts, mirror images of each other. This created all these opportunities for us to interact, around campsites and kills, laying the groundwork for something totally new.
So this means it wasn't a conquest. Scientists call it a mutual rapprochement. Basically, the bolder, less aggressive wolves were drawn to our camps for leftover food, and in turn, we benefited because these wolves acted as these amazing early warning systems against other predators. It was a two-way street, a gradual coming together, where you could almost ask who domesticated whom.
Now, this new partnership didn't just change behavior. It literally remade the wolf from the inside out. It transformed its entire genetic blueprint. The science of paleogenomics, which is just an awesome word for the study of ancient DNA, has shown us this blueprint. Living near us favored traits like lower stress hormones, which means less aggression. We start to see these more juvenile features pop up, like floppy ears and shorter snouts. New coat colors, like solid black, appear, which would be a disadvantage in the wild, but didn't matter in a human camp. They even evolved the ability to digest the starches in our leftover food. Just being near us physically reshaped them. And that whole process went into hyperdrive much, much more recently. It was really during the 19th century that humans started to selectively breed dogs not just for their job, but for how they looked. And that's what created this incredible explosion of diversity. More than 335 breeds we see today. But honestly, the most profound changes happened in the mind. Modern science is now revealing this incredible set of cognitive tools that dogs evolved specifically to understand us. There's a classic experiment that shows this perfectly. You take a socialized wolf and a dog. No problem. Both of them can easily learn to pull a strap to get a treat. But here's the twist. When the problem becomes unsolvable, when that strap is fixed, their strategies just completely diverge. The wolf keeps trying stubbornly on its own, but the dog, after maybe a brief attempt, it quickly turns and looks right at the human as if to say, hey, a little help here? This isn't just something they learn, it's a genetic predisposition to seek our cooperation. And their ability to cooperate with us is just astonishing. In experiments, dogs correctly interpret a human pointing gesture 90% of the time. Now that might sound simple to you, but it's a cognitive skill that even our closest relatives, chimpanzees, really struggle with. And this goes so far beyond just following a hand. Dogs are incredibly tuned into our eyes. They literally watch our gaze to understand what we're thinking, what our intent is, and they use that information to make their own decisions. They are constantly reading our social cues with a sophistication that is absolutely unique in the animal kingdom. And what's going on inside their brains is just as remarkable.
fMRI studies show that the very same emotional centers in a dog's brain light up whether they hear another dog's whimper or a human's cry. They process our emotional sounds in a way that is strikingly similar to how they process their own. This could be the actual neurological basis for that powerful feeling of empathy between us.
Of course, we can't talk about a dog's mind without talking about its most powerful tool, its nose. Their sense of smell is almost beyond our ability to comprehend, up to 1,000,000 times more sensitive than ours. They are literally perceiving a world of information that is completely invisible to us.
And this incredible sense has some astounding applications. Studies have actually shown that trained dogs can detect the unique chemical signature of certain cancers just from patient samples. With a success rate of 76%, they're literally sniffing out disease, alerting us to dangers our own technology can sometimes miss. It's amazing.
So after 15,000 years, this partnership has reached a level of depth and complexity that is, well, it's truly breathtaking. It's a bond that just continues to evolve and surprise us.
Just listen to this story about Jess, a sheepdog in England. During lambing season, she started doing something absolutely exceptional. With zero training, she taught herself how to hold a bottle and feed the orphaned lambs. She saw a need and, driven by some innate sense of empathy, just figured out how to help.
Her owner, Louise, captured the feeling perfectly. She said, "I wouldn't be surprised if one day she started to speak and would be just like her." I mean, that quote says everything you need to know about the mysterious depth of this connection we share.
So, in the end, the story of the dog isn't just about an animal that we tamed. It's the story of a unique duo in the animal world. It's the story of how two different species came together and, in that process, changed each other's evolutionary path for good.
And it really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? After all this time, all this shared history, this deep, deep connection, what else are we going to learn from each other? What does the future hold for this ancient, unbreakable alliance?